What if I told you that right now, somewhere on Earth, planes might be spraying microscopic particles into the sky, not for pollution, but for protection? That scientists are seriously considering blocking sunlight to cool the planet. It sounds insane, but it's real. This is geoengineering, humanity's audacious plan to hack the climate system itself. And here's the brutal truth. It could either save humanity or destroy it. In the next minutes, you'll uncover what geoengineering really means, who's behind it, how it could reshape global power, and why the world's billionaires are quietly investing in it. You'll learn how the same technology that could prevent catastrophic climate collapse could also unleash global chaos if mishandled. We'll break down the science, the psychology, and the economics behind this movement, and explore a question that might define the next century. Should humanity take control of Earth's thermostat? To understand geoengineering, we need to step back a few decades. Since the Industrial Revolution, we've been pumping carbon dioxide into the atmosphere faster than Earth can absorb it. The result? Rising temperatures, melting glaciers, and chaotic weather patterns. By 2025, the global climate economy surpassed $5 trillion. Renewable energy, carbon credits, and green tech dominated the headlines. But behind the scenes, some scientists were asking, what if none of this is enough? Enter geoengineering, a field born from desperation. Instead of trying to stop emissions, geoengineering seeks to directly manipulate the climate system. There are two main types. 1. Solar radiation management, SRM. Reflecting a portion of sunlight back into space using aerosols, mirrors, or artificial clouds. 2. Carbon dioxide removal, CDR. Pulling greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere and storing them underground, in oceans, or turning them into usable materials. Both sound elegant in theory, but in practice, they open a Pandora's box of unintended consequences. Here's where things get messy. Geoengineering sounds like a savior, but it's also a weapon. Imagine one nation unilaterally deciding to cool the planet by releasing sulfur aerosols into the stratosphere. Another country, reliant on monsoon rains, suddenly suffers droughts. Who's to blame? How do you stop a climate war when the weapon is invisible? And then there's the billionaire factor. Elon Musk wants to terraform Mars. Bill Gates funds solar reflection projects. Private firms are experimenting with carbon capture farms in Iceland, Wyoming, and even the open ocean. But who gave them permission to experiment with the planet's climate? Governments are conflicted. Some secretly fund research while publicly denouncing it. The public is largely unaware, and scientists themselves are torn between moral duty and scientific curiosity. Because here's the paradox. If we don't act, we risk runaway climate collapse. But if we do act, too soon, too recklessly, we might trigger side effects that are irreversible. And there's no off switch for the atmosphere. Let's break down the science of what might actually happen. In 1991, Mount Pinatubo erupted in the Philippines, releasing 20 million tons of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. Global temperatures dropped by about 0.5 degrees Celsius the following year. That was nature's accidental geoengineering experiment, and it worked. Inspired by that, scientists proposed a controlled version, spraying aerosols to mimic volcanic cooling. In models, it stabilizes global temperatures, but in reality, it could distort rainfall patterns, damage the ozone layer, and turn blue skies into milky haze. Other ideas are even more ambitious. Space mirrors positioned at Lagrange points to reflect sunlight. Marine cloud brightening, using seawater mist to make clouds more reflective. Ocean fertilization, seeding iron dust to stimulate algae that absorb CO2. Each sounds brilliant until you realize we're rewriting Earth's code without a backup copy. The deeper question isn't just, can we do it? But should we? Because geoengineering isn't only about science, it's about psychology. Humans crave control, we fear chaos, And geoengineering offers the illusion of mastery over nature. But nature doesn't negotiate. The discovery here is brutal. Geoengineering reveals more about human hubris than human intelligence. Let's explore some real examples. In 2022, Harvard's SCOPEX project, funded partly by private donors, planned to test stratospheric aerosols in Sweden. Public backlash was immediate. Indigenous Sami leaders called it climate colonialism. The project was paused indefinitely. In 2023, a startup in Mexico started releasing small amounts of reflective particles into the sky. They called it climate intervention. The government shut it down, calling it unregulated and dangerous. Meanwhile, in Iceland, companies like Climeworks are capturing CO2 directly from the air and burying it underground. Each plant can remove thousands of tons annually, tiny compared to global emissions, but a start. In Saudi Arabia, mega projects like NEOM explore artificial microclimates, designed cities with weather modulation systems. And in Silicon Valley, investors are eyeing climate control as the next trillion-dollar industry. Geoengineering is no longer theoretical. It's commercial. The irony? The very technologies meant to save us might become exclusive tools of the rich. Imagine climate-adjusted cities for the elite, while the rest of the world faces rising seas and heat waves. Welcome to the climate divide. So what do we do with all this? 1. Educate yourself. Geoengineering isn't science fiction anymore, it's policy in motion. 2. Demand transparency. Ask who funds these projects and who stands to profit. 3. Support regulation. We can't afford rogue experiments. The atmosphere belongs to all of us. 4. Push for emission cuts first. Geoengineering should be Plan B, not Plan A. 5. Stay curious, not cynical. Innovation and caution must coexist. We stand at a fork in human history. One path leads to salvation through science, the other to unintended catastrophe. So the next time someone says, "We're changing the weather," remember, they might not be joking. Geoengineering is the story of humanity's ambition colliding with its limits. Maybe we'll learn to cool the planet, or maybe the planet will teach us humility the hard way. Either way, one thing is clear. We've entered an age where climate control is no longer fantasy. It's a mirror reflecting who we truly are. Stay curious. Stay human. And don't forget, sometimes the most dangerous experiments are the ones done with good intentions.